We've got so much stuff to cover today, guys. If you've never been to Effed Up News before, this is a little stream that I do on Sundays where I cover some of the more fun stories of the week. Now, fun fact, in 2022, I'm going to start doing regular, I think daily streams at 5 p.m., like every day except for Saturday. So effed up news is still going to stay on Sundays, and it's still going to be the more kind of like effed up perturby stories of the week. But you want to lock in 5 p.m. on your calendars in 2022 because my new streaming schedule is going to be that I'm going to be going live at 5 during the week. I'm going to be doing interviews at 5. I'm going to be covering news stories at 5. I'm going to be chatting with you guys, talking about different things. So that's going to be the schedule for 2022. And effed up news is just kind of like the entry point into that. But don't worry, we're still going to save our most fun stories for Sunday. And that's how we're going to roll. But let's dig into it. And actually, before we even get started, guys, please make sure you mount that like button, of course, because we don't smash the like buttons. Only weakling cowards smash the like buttons. We mount the like button on this channel. We do it the right way. So please make sure you mount that like button. And as always, if you enjoy the work I'm doing, please make sure you join my Locals community. Now, Locals is free to join. You can go to kb.locals.com, bing, or it's down in the ticker, and join completely for free. And I will be doing an after party stream today in Locals. So right after Effed Up News, I anticipate it'll be around 6:30 Eastern time. Brent says 5, what time zone? Eastern time. Always Eastern time. I'm in New Hampshire. I only know one time zone, and that is Eastern. The rest of the time zones are a little bit confusing. But I will be doing an exclusive Locals after party stream today after Effed Up News. You can get that for free just by joining there. But if you want to support the work I'm doing and keep me independent, you want to be sure you can't become a member in my Locals. You can do that for $5 a month. You can do it for $50 a year, which gives you 2 months for free. You can make a one-time gift. And what happens when you become a member in my Locals is you unlock all of the features in Locals. You're able to get access to our Zoom calls that we do twice a week. You're able to get access to our book club, to our crafting bitches, to the supporter only Discord. So you get lots of cool stuff. I actually spend about 6 hours every single week on Zoom calls with my Locals. Much more intimate environment where we can actually talk to each other and behave like real live human beings and stuff like that. So please make sure you're a member of my Locals community. Locals is literally the thing that allows me to do what I do. Because YouTube ain't paying the bills. I'll tell you that right now. YouTube ain't paying the bills. But Locals does really help out. And so if you want to see me keep doing this, if you want to see me keep dedicating time to this, please make sure you show your support there so that I have the ability to do that. And that would be really awesome. All right, let's dig right into it. Now, breaking news of the week, or of the day, rather. Joe Manchin coming through clutch. Joe Manchin basically told the White House, I'm not going to vote for your Build Back Better, thing, White House. I'm not doing it, Biden. Now, this article from the Washington Times says it was a $1.75 trillion act. Rumor has it that the total cost of this Build Back Better thing was closer to like $5 trillion. Like an epic amount of money. And Joe Manchin just skewered this for the White House, made it impossible for them to pass it. And the White House is not happy. They're not happy at all. Let's read about what happened. The White House accused Joe Manchin of a double cross on President Biden's mammoth social welfare and climate change legislation. In a fiery statement, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki rebuked the West Virginia Democrat for making an inextricable reversal days after pledging support for the $1.75 trillion social welfare bill. On Tuesday of this week, Senator Manchin came to the White House and submitted to the president in person directly a written outline for the Build Back Better bill, and that was the same size and scope as the president's framework and covered many of the same priorities, Ms. Psaki says. While the framework was missing key priorities, we believed it could lead to an acceptable compromise to all. The statement was released to the public shortly after Mr. Manchin told Fox News Sunday he had struggled for months over whether to support the bill, but ultimately could not. I've always said this, but if I can't go home and explain to the people of West Virginia, I can't vote for it, said Mr. Manchin, and I can't vote for it to continue this piece of legislation. I just can't. I've tried everything humanly possible. I can't get there. This is a no. And of course, if you guys have not been following along with the Democrat that has been happening since Joe Manchin came out and said he ain't voting for this bill, they're all complaining. They're all pissed off. But let's just be honest. Joe Manchin weren't never going to vote for this bill. He was never going to vote for it. He has been signaling for a while that he was never going to vote for it. Does anyone want to start a pool? Maybe we should do this in my locals. Does anyone want to start a pool about when Joe Manchin is going to leave the Democratic Party? Would it surprise anyone, if Joe Manchin left the Democratic Party? It wouldn't surprise me at all. There was a rumor he was going to leave like a month and a half ago. So I think we all need to send just a really rousing thank you to Joe Manchin. I really mean that. Can you imagine the pressure that he's under? When was the last, when did Joe Manchin get elected? Wasn't it this past election cycle? Wasn't Manchin up in this past election cycle? And so it's like, he's got 6 years, man. Well, I guess not 5 years now, I suppose. If it was this election cycle, he's still got, regardless of whether it's this one or the last one, he's still got a ways to go. But it's like, can you imagine the pressure that this guy is under right now? I mean, thank God for Joe Manchin. Kristen Sinema sometimes comes in a clutch position. Joe Manchin is still apparently opposing getting rid of the filibuster too. Thank God we have Joe Manchin. Look, guys, I know I want New Hampshire to secede from the Union. I do. But let's just be honest. That's a long-term strategy. That's not going to happen right away. And so in the meantime, I'm going to be extraordinarily grateful for people like Joe Manchin, who under what I can only assume is massive pressure, and he knows it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Dude, did you guys know that Joe Manchin has a houseboat? I like him even more. A houseboat. He literally had protesters outside of his houseboat. Do you think that he is unaware that that's going to get worse now? So thank God for people like him who stand up and do the right thing. There aren't enough people like that, and I would not be at all surprised if he ended up leaving the Democratic Party at some point. I'm not saying I think he's going to run right over to the Republicans or anything. I think he'd probably stick around in independent territory. But I mean, this took some balls, and he had to know how it was going to be received, and kudos to him for doing the right thing.